So hello, welcome guys to Sonic the Hedgehog. Welcome outside. Today I got an interesting subject for you. So, we started drilling a well right there. We were planning on using that one, but that one has a lot of problems, so we drilled that one. And all this area was overgrown with vines and grass and junk, and we never known what was there. Well, we are chopping the lawn there and stuff and cleaning it up. Look what showed up. This thing. This is an antique Czechoslovakian fan, pre-1950, so it's antique. It's all made out of metal. It's around 60 centimeters big. So yeah, so let's have a look at it. So it's an MEZ. It's not a Streussmalt or anything like that. It's an MEZ. Now an MEZ was a Czechoslovakian producer of induction motors or manufacturer, but now, today, it still is a manufacturer of induction motors, but rather Czech, not Czechoslovakian. It's Czech now. Czechoslovakia divided up into Czechia, into the Czech Republic, and the Slovakia, into Czechia and Slovakia in the year 1993 or 1992. So, there's the number plate at the top there. I tried cleaning it. It's unreadable. It won't show up on the camera. Let me try and read some of the information. So it has been made. It's MEZ Zhdeň. Okay, so it's somewhere in Slovakia this thing was made. It's free phase, 415 volts, 50 hertz, because we live in Europe. 500 watts. That's quite a powerful fan. What else can I see? RPM? Can I see RPM? 800 RPM. And the last thing that I can see is that it has been made in the year 1942. So this is antique. So, I think I'm actually going to post this on the AFCA forum, because this is quite a bit of an antique fan. So, here, this fan is kind of interestingly made, because the same fan, or a similar one, is mounted at a street in my local city at a communist building outside the building, and there are two padfolks right there, and I was walking on the left one, which was around 3 to 4 meters from the fan, and it didn't look that big, but yeah, I think it was huge. That one also didn't have the blade, didn't have the fan blade actually going right to the shroud. There was actually, like, this was going up to here, I think, so I might have had a wrong blade for maybe a smaller model. Anyways, I think it might have been used for bringing fresh air into the house, into the building, because this is an exhaust fan. So it had to be mounted, so this connection box had to be mounted outside in order for it to pull fresh air into the building. Also want to tell you, I was looking at that fan at the street and saying, is this tiny thing the motor? No, it isn't. That's the connection box. The motor is in the hub. So for 1942, a hub motor, like in a PC fan or a Zeal Abeg fan, I mean, it's quite interesting. Here's the original Bakelite cable grommet. It looks to be in great shape, but it doesn't want to turn. And this screw right here, this bolt, isn't there for fun. That's where you put the oil. That's actually a place to oil the bearings. And I believe there's a tube which runs from the stem, which runs from the shaft onto the blade. Now, what I want to tell you is, if you have a look right here, I'm gonna try and film it in a bit of a different way. You can see right there, the shaft is really thin. You can see, the shaft is really thin. And how is the thing made? Easy. The stator is inside. Basically, the part you can see, the part where the blades are welded or where the. Actually, let me tell it again. So, you see this little middle ring, which the blades are welded to? There's the actual rotor. In the middle of that, there's the stator. And then there's just two caps on top of that. So, that's that. Now, this has got a couple of problems which stop me from running it. First, I cannot get the box open. This bolt can be unscrewed, this one can't, and I don't want to ruin it. Second, I don't know if the motor isn't burnt out or anything. This thing has been sitting here for 15 years rusting away, so really. And I don't know even how it got here, because this house was fully built in 2012, so I don't know where that got there. Because when we were originally building the house here, there was some sort of warehouse here, and that had to be demolished. And I think this is the fan from that. I don't know what is it doing here, because back in the day parents didn't know that I would love fans. So yeah, I have it now. It's mine. Now the frame is cast iron. It's really heavy. It's impossible to hold with one hand. The blades are sheet metal. Again, the motor is cast iron. The box is also cast. All of the stuff on here, except for the blades, is cast. The box is cast. The frame is cast. The hub is cast. Everything is cast. It's really well built. And these have been even used in excavators and stuff, which is kind of insane. But let me show the main problem. You can see that if I turn the blade around, you can see that this blade is severely bent right here. If you want to see how the blade is supposed to look like, it's supposed to be like this nice, so straight shape. The blade is severely bent right here. This blade is also a little bit bent. This one is fine. And what blades are actually fine? I gotta have to check which blades are actually fine. Okay, so yeah, I know it. So, these 2 blades are fine and the rest are bent. So that means that 2 out of 5 blades are bent. Wow, that's pretty bad. So only these 2 blades are fine and the rest 3 are bad. You can see this literally has been cast. And there's even molding imperfections. And this fan is so heavy that I think that, like, I don't know, 3 bolts on the sides of the fan are a bit underrated to do this. So yeah, it really actually looks nice without that bulky motor on the back. It actually looks really nice. And I was really thinking, like, is the motor so small? No, the motor is in the middle here. I was thinking all the time when I seen these fans up for sale, saying, such a tiny motor for such a giant blade, and a heavy blade at that. It wouldn't have it been obvious to me that why is the hub so big? Because the motor is in there, dude. And in the connection box there is actually different. There's the terminal block. But I also want to tell you, this thing can run both on 415 volts 3-phase, or 2-phase, or single-phase, and it can run on 220 volts for 3-phase, 2-phase, and single-phase. And that has to be configured inside of the box right here. But it's really nice. So that way I can just configure it up so it can be run as a standard box fan. I can build a box fan out of it. But I'm going to have to get it restored for that. Let's flip it around to the other side. Oh my god, it's so heavy. Oh my god. I swear I'm gonna... Oh my god. Dude, this thing is the heaviest fan I ever had. Okay, so... if you look on here, you can see it's got... the 5 blades. The bearings are actually in good shape. But there's a bit of bearing noise. But I think for me they're in good shape. Now if you look at the hub of the fan... this plate right here has 3 screws on it. And the screws, when you take the screws out, you can gain access to the bearing and oil the bearing. And if you undo these 3 screws, this cap comes off and you get access to the motor. And the motor is assembled like this. So you've got the shaft and the stator in the middle. Then you've got the bottom cap. You've got the rotor in the middle. And you've got the top cap. I don't think it's going to come apart that easily, but yeah. So you can again see this blade is severely bent. This one is bent. And... of course, this one is fine. So only these 2 blades are fine. This one might be fine. No, it's still bent. But this blade is effed up pretty bad. You can see even that the paint is gone on it. And I can feel it's got a severe imbalance. So that'll have to be straightened, and then the blade is gonna have to be balanced in order for the entire, in order for the fan to run. It's gonna be expensive, but I want to get this beast going because it's really nice. So yeah, the hub motor for 1942 is quite amazing. Now, when you're playing around with these old, huge metal fans, be sure to have a grill and also to have an emergency stop switch. Because if you think that sticking your finger into a PC fan is gonna kill you, no. If you stick your finger into a standard desk fan, nothing is gonna happen. If you're gonna stick your finger, it might scratch you. If you stick your finger into a server fan, it'll be pretty bad. But if you stick your finger into here, it'll straight chop it off. When I spin it up like this by hand, I can feel a noticeable breeze. Let me just stop it again, slowly. Just spin it up again. Just get it up to speed. There you go. Even now, I'm really scared to put my finger in there because that blade right there, that motor has quite a bit of inertia. Okay, come. I'm really scared. Guys, I'm gonna try and stick my finger in it. Ow! Dude, that thing is really vicious. Yeah, it hurts. What did you expect? I mean, this fan, I think it is pretty scary to see it running because, dude, this thing is giant. Now, I actually was at a water power plant in the Czech Republic here. They are still happily using these kinds of fans, this same model of fan. They are still happily using it, and it works perfectly. Just have to, this fan, like, these fans are really reliable and are meant to last years. Like the communist era fans of the Czechoslovakia are really good quality fans, and it's a shame to actually throw them out because they can to change them out with modern piece of crap exhaust fans from China. Because I mean, if you just get this up to shape, it's gonna be a great fan and it's gonna run for over 100 years and it's still gonna be fine. I swear there's nothing that can break on these. These are so simple. Well, but the hub motor one here kind of isn't. But still, it's pretty amazing. Anyways, what did I want to say? I forgot. Yes, I seen actually one of these running in the power plant, and it pulls quite a good breeze. Because when this runs, I can feel like air rushing through the windows. It's pretty insane. There are multiple types of fans made, but not that much fans. Like, dude, like, this frame is kind of similar to an ILG, but the blade isn't at all. I don't think that ILG made a 5-bladed fan like this. Be sure to tell me, vintage fan collectors and antique fan collectors, because this is antique. It's 1942. It's made in the Second World War. I completely forgot what I wanted to say. These go up on auctions for quite high prices, and I believe I still have the manual to this somewhere, because it was found inside that building, and Dad kept it because he loves collecting vintage stuff like this, and I think he kept this fan because of that reason. And I think I have still a manual for it. I'm gonna search if I have it for it, because it would be quite insane to see. Anyways, let me get up. So that's the communist era antique exhaust fan, Czechoslovakian. So yeah, it's pretty big, 60 centimeters of course. So yeah, hope you like this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.